Hey everyone, this is Derek here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the best place to find the flare gun in 0.8.5 as well as potentially the best place in the game to fire it. But before we get to that, voting is still underway for the Star Challenge popularity contest, and basically if you have not voted yet for me, I certainly appreciate all the support. It's a little trophy icon with the star bottom center of your screen. Then you will load this screen, make sure that you're on North America, then you just scroll down to find me, and there I am, and I don't have any more votes, but you click the little yellow vote icon underneath my name to the bottom left, and that is how you do it. We are currently in the lead for guys. There's no prize for that, but we're going to try our hardest, and I don't know how long the contest goes for, so why not just try as hard as we can until the end of it. So let's jump into a game, and I'll talk about the best place to find the flare gun, as well as, like I said, the best potential place to fire it, and why it's the best place. Alright, so here we are. How many of you guys guessed that the point of interest is indeed the location where it's most likely you'll find a flare gun? If you did, you are correct. So flare guns can be found anywhere good loot can be found, but the point of interest seems to, for some reason, have a higher likelihood than not of spawning at least one flare gun. So let's go ahead, we'll run it around, see what we got. We got a level 3 vest right away. You can see tons of good gear here. Here's a level, or a med kit rather. So let's see if we can find the elusive flare gun. 2x scope, extended magazines, we've got everything here, but do we have a flare gun? I'm not sure. So I think what we'll do is we'll speed up this footage, and once I find a flare gun, then I'll be back with you guys. Alright, well, unfortunately we didn't find a flare gun, but we found pretty much everything other than one. We've got a Mini 14 with a comp and an extended, a DP, P18C, 2 medkits, adrenaline syringe, 4 first aids, ton of boost items, ton of ammo, and honestly a pretty great loadout. Level 3 armor, level 2 helmet, level 3 backpack, but no flare gun, so let's go ahead, requeue, and we'll try again. Here we go. Attempt number 2. There we go. We have found a flare gun. I've also had to kill 2 real people already. That's odd. Wasn't really expecting that, but that's alright. We have 1 flare gun. Well, let's see if we can find 1 more. Sometimes multiple ones spawn here, but hey, 1 flare gun's already pretty good. And it only took us 2 games, so obviously, you know, a flare gun isn't going to spawn everywhere every game. But if I had to bet where a flare gun would show up, the point of interest would definitely be one of my top spots. Here's a second flare gun, guys. Second flare gun has been found. We also have somebody around us, so we have to be a little bit careful. There's a second level 3 helmet, too. So to make up for the first game not having any flare guns, this game we have found 2 at the point of interest, which quite honestly isn't that uncommon. I've seen it happen before, and yeah, where there's one, there could be multiple. So again, some amazing gear found at the point of interest. Let's go ahead and just recap real quick, and then I'll show you guys that location where I think it's one of the best locations to use a flare gun in the game. Actually, a couple of good locations, but this is definitely one of the best. And this was sent to me by Smit, by Mr. Patel 007. He's a big fan who watches from India. So let's take a look at the gear. We've got 6 times on the mini. We have a hollow or 4 times on the DP. I think I'll swap the 4 times on. 5 first aid kits, adrenaline syringe, number of painkillers, 2 flares, and lots of good gear, as you can see. So let's go ahead and drive to one of those locations, and I'll talk to you guys more about why I think it's one of the best spots in the game to fire a flare gun. Alright, so the location he pointed out was actually over at Stalber, but that's pretty far to drive from where the point of interest was, which was down here. But basically, any point that's high up is a great location to use a flare gun. So why is that? Well, it's because the plane flies lower than the normal supply drop plane. So that means if you fire a flare at a high up location like this one, let's go ahead and use the flare right now. If you do that, basically you'll notice that the supply drop plane flies in really low over this location because this is so high, and as a result, well, you don't have to wait as long for the goods to be delivered, you to loot them, and then to move out of the way before enemy teams contest you for the flare awesomeness. So that's what he wanted to get across. He said Stalber because that's another very high location on the map. The island, you know, the military island, the hill to the east side of it with the radio tower and stuff on it, that would be another great spot. I'm on the large mountain range that separates Georgopol from Godka. And here we go. So notice how low the say the plane is flying, and notice how short this is going to be in the air for, versus if I fire the flare down somewhere like Georgopol. So you can see here comes the armored UAZ, and it's dropping a lot faster. I mean, it's dropping the same speed, but it's going to take a lot shorter of amount of time before it hits the ground. Thus, it's a much better way, if possible, to drop or to fire the flare when you're on a high elevation. So for sake of comparison, let's grab this bulletproof UAZ. We will drive it over here. Let's see if we can actually get up the hill here. There we go. And we'll fire our other flare down on the down in the forest. Let's go ahead and just get ourselves a little closer to the zone. We'll move into the field maybe. Hopefully we don't flip it. There we go. So for sake of comparison, let's fire the other flare somewhere around here, which is a much lower elevation, and we'll see how much longer it takes for the goods to actually be delivered. Go ahead and fire that. We also have to use a first aid kit fairly soon. You don't have to use it right now. Good reminder that if you're firing a flare, make sure you're firing it straight up like that. Some people have problems if they ADS or aim down the scope. You know, so that would be going like this kind of. And then, oh my gosh, we've got a bot. There we go. That was odd. But we're hanging out outside the zone, so I can't imagine any real people are going to be here. But let's wait for it. Where is that supply drop plane? Here he comes. So the understanding, at least... Oh yeah, that's going to take a lot longer. So I don't know what the time zone, or the time difference, rather, is going to be. Not sure, but it's going to take a lot longer, and people can see that for a much longer time falling through the sky, and as a result, there's a good chance that people are going to be contesting you for it. If you're playing something like solo versus squads or duo versus squads, and you're using a flare gun, well, it's a pretty bad idea to do that, and you have to use it in a location where you have to wait a very long time for it to fall down, like here. So it is almost reached the ground, but again, that's the reasoning behind firing the flare gun in a location where you're very high up, like on this mountain, or you have a few good mountains. One of them, I said, is between Georgopol and Godka, kind of, and Pachinki right here. Another good location would be Stalber, which I think is even higher, so you can get on the ground even faster, or perhaps the top of the military base. That's another good option. So there you have it. My name's DerekG. If you are enjoying the video, definitely give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing if you haven't already for tons more PUBG Mobile content. I hope to see you on the battlefield soon or in my Discord server, which I'll leave a link to down below. Thanks again, everybody who's voting, and yeah, definitely leave future video ideas down there too.